I'm going to give my 2 cents. Might be a little lengthy, but I just want you to hear me out. I'm looking at all this protest, you know, protesting with this race, protesting with that race, this life matter, that life matters. And what I ultimately see is our youth are being damaged. They're being tainted. They're getting confused because ultimately our youth is our future. You remember that? Our youth is our future. So if we're showing our youth the division, the hate, the non-unity, what do you think they're going to grow up in society as? The same way, if not worse. So why do we want to damage and hurt our future, our youth? My gosh, can't you see that these babies are listening? They're watching. Some of them are so young, so naive, so innocent. They have no idea. But we're tainting their thoughts. We're tainting their minds. We're tainting the way they ought to grow up in society, because America right now is so diverse. You don't know who's mixed with what. You don't know. You just don't know anymore. And it's a beautiful thing. We have so many multiracial and biracial families that have products of those families, and they're beautiful. But if we creating division and we're creating hate in their hearts, they're not going to know where they stand. And it shouldn't be a matter of where you stand. It's a matter of unity, love, peace, and harmony. And, I'm not saying that, peaceful protest is a bad thing or violent protest is a bad thing. I just don't like the protesters, period. You're entitled to how you want to feel. That's great. That's all fine and dandy. But when we start making it so publicly known and these babies are being tainted, they're in the middle of that, because ultimately you're going to have somebody that's going to be more against and more for, and those that are more against are going to now tell their kids, I don't want you to this, or I don't want you to that, or you're going to talk about it in front of your kids, and now your kids are going to start to, oh, well, if mom and dad feel that way, well, I guess I got to feel that way too. No, that's not what we want to do. We don't want to damage our future, okay? Our history is what it is. It's history. It has already taken place. It has already happened. You cannot change it. You can learn from it and move forward. You can learn from it and decide not to revisit it again, but that does not mean that we have to remember it and try to go back to it or make it, something that just isn't a pleasant era or place to be in. So remember, our future are watching. Our future is being damaged. Our future is what we are hurting. We're not hurting that group that we're protesting against, or that, particular whatever person that was just belligerent and nasty and vulgar. We're not hurting them. We're hurting our future that are watching this, that are sitting back, taking all this in. As you see, to me, we're dropping seeds of hate, violence, separation. That's not a good thing. And what happens is when you start to feed the little fire that's there, it starts to get bigger and bigger, and fire destroys. Okay, so if you're feeding that fire, whether it's with a peaceful protest, a violent protest, your 2 cents, their 2 cents, but everything is back and forth. Yeah. What happens? That fire gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and boof! It ignites, it catches everywhere, and it destroys. America is going to be destroyed on account of wanting to have these protests. That, okay, freedom of speech, I get it. But we're having these protests that are just, we're hurting our future. What are we going to do with the protests? Everybody's life matter. It doesn't matter what race you are, what country you're from. Everybody's life matters, period. But ultimately, our babies' lives is what matters the most. We're tainting them, America. We got to make America great. We got to learn to live in peace, unity, love, and harmony. And by doing that, cut these protesters out. Remember that our babies are watching, and teach them to grow up in peace, love, happiness, and unity, so that America can be better further on when they grow up to be the adults that we are. Peace. Hope I ain't hurt nobody's feelings.